People are coming in slowly but surely, and everyone has their name set up already. I love seeing that for sure. Hello everyone. Hello my friends. Dave, how are you doing today? Dave, also shout out to you. Thanks for all the likes and thanks for chatting a little bit, my friend. Appreciated that. Where's everyone chiming in from today, by the way? Hey Dave, how are you doing?
Doing well. How are you?
Pretty good as well. Where are you right now? You're just at home today?
Yeah.
Pardon, what are you smoking up?
Some Cuban links from Tribal.
Cuban links from Tribal. How's that?
Excellent, actually. I love it.
Oh, dope.
Lots of people love that at the moment. It's a hot skew.
Yeah, can you describe it a little bit? What is it about? What's the smell? What's the flavor?
As soon as I opened up I got the joints. As soon as I opened up the joints, it smelled like limeade or like Powerade, like limeade Powerade almost.
Oh, dope.
That very limey, but almost like a fake lime.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
It's a huge punch of it though, like very, very, very lemony, limey, and the taste as well. It falls in the taste and in the burn.
I also know what you mean with this fake smell. I had the cake and caviar lemon loaf pre-rolls once, and that was a fake lemon smell where I was like, whoa, this smells like a very weird lemon. Also, hello to Drew, by the way. Your background looks pretty dope as well, my friend. What are you smoking anything today for the Burn&Learn, Drew?
Yeah, just the general admission Maui Wowie 0.5s. Can't get enough.
Oh, how are those?
Oh, they're great. I mean, like a skittly, kind of flavor. You can't get enough. They hit you really hard, and you got to cut the filters in half or they clog up a little bit. But other than that, fantastic.
Yeah, good pro tip right away from a Budtender who knows his stuff. Cut up the filters. Those are the tricks that I used to give away to our customers as well. Sometimes it's like massage them a little bit, cut the filter a little bit, like manipulate the joint so it smokes perfectly. Good tip for sure. Also, Elise in the chat as well. Elise, how are you doing today?
Super good. Just getting over the Christmas sickness.
Oh, sad to hear that, but I guess you're not the only one who got hit by that after Christmas. So we also have a lot of people already writing some stuff in the chat. We have Kelsey Cannabis as our special guest today. She's chiming in from Alberta, while we have Sean from Southampton, Ontario. We have Chelsea Case from Ottawa. And yeah, I'm super excited for today's sessions. I just got the house rules for you guys as usual, but you're already all doing a pretty good job at it, as I can see. It's just stay muted for the entire conversation. If you want to say anything, you find at the bottom the little reactions tab, and you can just click raise your hands and boom, you get pushed to the very front so I can see you right away. So if you raise your hands, no problem that you can save something during the chat. And yeah, today we will be talking about the history of the term marijuana, the endocannabinoid system, cannabinoids and terpenes with the cannabis expert Kelsey Cannabis. The entire session, as usual, is recorded and will be shared on the BTA YouTube channel. So also, if you've missed out on any recent Burn&Learns, like the last session that Axel, for example, moderated, or any sessions that I moderated in the past, feel free to subscribe to the BTA YouTube channel and watch all of those Burn and Learns again. We're up in full length as well. But also I see Caitlin has her camera on as well. Everyone who has their camera on, I'm mostly approached because the people that have their camera on are mostly at home and not at work, while I see a lot of like black screens on my computer as well. So I guess some people are working in the stores right now as well, or maybe a little bit shy and don't want to show their faces. Drop a comment in the chat if you're working in the store right now, and if you're working in the store, what's the product that you are selling to all the customers today. By the way, I'm tuning in right now from Germany, where at this time it's 12:25 a.m. in the morning, so I'm staying extra up to chat with all you guys. So I want to know, so please write it in the chat. I love that Dave and Drew shared it already with me, but I'm curious about everything that's brewing up on the Canadian market right now. Like, what are some product drops that are really interested? Because I feel like when I get back to Canada in February, I will probably green out real hard after trying all the new drops that are out there. But also we have Coco in the chat today as well. Coco, how are you doing? I see a vape in your hand. What are you vaping on? Our biggest seller is the Parcel Sunday Driver. Coco is the Parcel Sunday Driver. Is that flower? Is that a vape, or what's that? And you're smoking on the Glacier Gold ginger mint they brought out as well. Super interesting. I always was a big fan of their blueberry lemonade 1-to-1, I think it was, from Glacier Gold, that I liked a lot as well. Yeah, it's distillate, but it's super decent distillate in my opinion. Always had a really nice flavor, and especially for 1-to-1, I think you also go pretty well with a distillate as well. And the other one, the Parcel Sunday Driver, is 3.5 grams. That sounds super amazing. I need to know all the flowers that are out there. I don't mind a vape here and there as well, but I am especially looking for some flowers. I will be burning as well. I got German CBD vapes that were sent to me, so I will be smoking German CBD cards, and they're actually quite decent. And I was quite surprised because on the packaging they listed also not only the CBD percentage, but they also listed if it was full spectrum or not full spectrum, and what different types of terpenes they added as well. So Germany is already doing a good job on the CBD side apparently, but apparently what I saw so far, the medical weed here sucks, unfortunately. If any one of you is curious, don't buy medical weed in Germany. It's apparently no good. But also, Caitlin, where are you tuning in from today? Feel free to unmute yourself, by the way, and let us know if you're burning on anything today as well.
Ontario this round, but no, not allowed to smoke at work. So unfortunately, no burning, just learning.
Oh, you're just at work right now? At what store are you at?
Value Buds. I'm at the Stadium Mall one.
Has it been a busy day for you today?
Pretty busy, yeah.
Dope. Everyone probably got the Christmas money right now to spend on weed.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Hell yeah. Yeah, we're just waiting a little bit for some more people to chime in. I'm gonna have a little look at my clock, but actually we're already 10 minutes in. Kelsey, it's a pleasure to have you here today. How are you doing, and what's burning beneath you right now?
The place isn't on fire, I promise. I have a big fatty for tonight. I'm super excited. Thank you everybody for tuning in and taking the time. We're gonna have a highly educated conversation tonight, and I'm just so grateful that you could join in from the stores, from my NFT fam that might be tuning in, GM. I know there's a few of you out there, so I'm excited you could join. I am smoking on a big fatty of, this is Punch Mints by Partake. Absolutely obsessed with it. Hits right to the dome. Super grapey, super candy, high terpene content, which is important, which we'll talk about today. And yeah, nothing's on fire, just going to smoke this. So welcome to our Burn and Learn.
I just wanted to give you all a heads up. Today is under the umbrella of being a Budtender Q&A. So Make sure that you ask a lot of questions, because I have some questions prepared, but I need you guys' help. We need to get as much information out of Kelsey as we can in this hour.
So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Kelsey Cannabis. I have been in the cannabis industry for quite a few years now. I have a lot of certifications from a bunch of cannabis places, which I'm obsessed with. And I'm also an ambassador for the Brain Care Center, because I actually suffer from a brain injury. And if it wasn't for cannabis, I don't think I'd be here. So I'm pretty obsessed with it for a whole bunch of different reasons. So feel free to smoke whatever is comfortable. I'm gonna just smoke this to the dome the whole time. What we're gonna do is we're gonna start with the history of the term marijuana. Super fun, super interesting. We're gonna bounce over, talk about the endocannabinoid system and how that relates to the different cannabinoids that are available. There's actually more than 200 in the cannabis plant besides THC. So super important, especially new products coming out that we're starting to see. And of course, terpenes, because I'm obsessed with terpenes, and everybody should be, and we'll talk about why and what you need to know, but I'll get there when I get there. So there's really different perspectives when it comes to the history of the term marijuana. Some people can find that the term has a racist history, or it might not be a word to utilize. A lot of people have actually been changing their names and their brands from the word marijuana to something different, whether that's hemp or cannabis. But because there's these thought of racist history that's tied to it. And the thought is something that we're going to go through so that you can make your own decision about what that looks like. So there are really different perspectives of this term. So I think just to be open-minded and re-educate ourselves on the history of the word marijuana. In different countries, this term can actually be used to use in a negative manner, to be used in a racist form. So although we may not hear it in our countries of Canada or the US, it is something that can be used in a derogatory fashion. But the term marijuana, it actually originates back to the colonization. So the creation of the Americas before even the States and Canada and Mexico existed, which is, you know, a long time ago. We're talking 500 years ago. And the colonization of the Americas didn't begin in the United States, but actually in the Caribbean and what is today known as Mexico. So a part of the colonization project meant maritime exploration. So ships, pirates, all that crazy stuff. And a lot of obvious seafaring voyages, like they're traveling across the sea. And that meant that they had fibers and they had to have sails and they had to have ropes, and they actually had their sails and their ropes made from hemp and from hemp fibers. So if you're traveling somewhere and you need more rope and you need more sails, you're gonna have to bring enough for 2 trips. And what they did is they started to say, hey, we're going to bring hemp plants over and we're going to have them grown here so that when we sail over, we have access to the materials that we need. And we want to grow them for these very purposes. So it's hemp fiber, fuel, food, all that good stuff. So we're talking about the Spanish colonists. They're arriving, and there's already an effort to stimulate like cross-Atlantic trade for all these goods. They want to go back and forth a super ton, which means they need a lot of product because there's flowers, there's avocado, there's corn, and it's going back to Europe. So while the Spaniards are occupying the region of what is basically known today as Mexico, they're from a time in European history, you know, quite racist and very full of Spanish monarchs trying to turn lands into Catholic nations. That is just what was happening at those times. So now you've got this new population of people that the Spaniards see, the people that are indigenous, but to the Spaniards, they're going, oh, there's a bunch of people, we got to Christianize them. But this really becomes a problem when we come to the use of psychoactive plants, okay? That's where we're gonna start talking about a whole bunch of psychoactive plants, including cannabis. So what is not really considered at that time and really today is that Mexico already had a whole bunch of psychoactive plants. They already had peyote, they already had morning glory, belladonna, psilocybin, magic mushrooms. Like I always say, there's not a lot of profit in healing.
I would quickly ask you one question that is maybe useful for the Budtenders, Kelsey. And the question that I would have with everything you just explained, what would you say would be a quick way, a 1 or 2 sentences on when a customer comes to the store, you use the word marijuana and they're like, this is racist. What would be 1 or 2 sentences without getting into the entire story to reverse the customer basically?
I would say I think there's a really unique history of cannabis that predates the US. And we've really found that Indigenous people had to grow hemp, and they were the first prohibition that existed. And we really found that they named marijuana, and we want to honor that. And I would encourage you to check out more history. But talking about our endocannabinoid systems, we often talk about THC, right? We love THC. Take a moment to respect the THC, because we have something called an endocannabinoid system. Cannabinoid. Endo means internal. So we have an internal cannabinoid system already built in our body. It's our primary regulatory system. It is a transmitter system, it's full of receptor sites, sending messages everywhere, and it is remarkable for keeping our body in balance, in optimal state, in homeostasis, if you want the technical word. But that's what it does already. It regulates everything from the top of our head to the tip of our toes. It's our fertility, our pain, our sleep, our eating, our breathing, absolutely everything. Movement, memory, all of it. So we know about the endocannabinoid system, a little bit more about our bodies, and why is cannabis so amazing? Again, because if it's having these cannabinoids come in, they can then go to those receptors and they can fix our issues or assist with fixing. And what's really, really cool is our body already naturally has more receptors for cannabinoids than any other substance on this planet. So if that doesn't say to you our bodies are designed to intake and participate and enjoy cannabis, I mean, what else really does? Now, that doesn't mean you have to get high. I mean, we love getting high, but there are so many non-psychoactive, non-intoxicating products that is really amazing. CBD is, if we want to get wild, a psychoactive product. What that means is it crosses the blood-brain barrier, but it doesn't mean it gets us high. So I like to use the term interchangeably, non-psychoactive, but also non-intoxicating, because you're not going to get a high, you're not going to get stoned. We obviously know about THC. We love THC. Duh. It's great. We like to get high. It's what we think of when we get high. It is psychoactive. The stronger, the better. But that depends on the need of the person. If somebody's new to cannabis and they say, I want to get super high, and you say, well, what are you looking for? Well, I'm new and I know potency is good. Well, if they have a 25% product, they're going to have anxiety, paranoia, be uncomfortable. We don't want that. They're not going to trust us, you, the Budtender, the community, the industry. They're going to say, I had a bad experience. I'm not going to try it again. Or they'll say, I tried something one time. It was terrible. I don't recommend it. There's the loss of a customer, loss of a lover of the industry, also the potential for Budtenders, cross-selling opportunity, and just that relationship established of having a return customer. We see indica and sativa everywhere, but it means nothing when it comes to effects. Indica does not mean in the couch. Sativa does not mean I've had a Red Bull. If you want to get crazy and technical, 99.9% of all of it is hybridized, okay? So it's really a bunch of hybrids. Now, if we're talking morphology of the plant and growing, yes, there's a huge difference between a 15-foot longer maturation period of a sativa plant compared to on average 4-foot indica plant that has a faster turnover rate, so better production for LPs, licensed producers. We have these other cannabinoids, okay? So we see there's THC. We are starting to see, and then it was pulled back, Delta-8 products. Delta-8 products are interesting in the States. A lot of states aren't medically legal or recreationally legal or both. So what happens is not everybody can enjoy THC. Delta-8 is a loophole system. Delta-8 is derived through a process from CBD, CBD, I like to refer to it as. So because it's derived from a hemp product, right? The CBD low to minute, they literally made up that number of 0.3%. It's arbitrary. It's stupid, but that's their number, our number. And anything less than that is a hemp product. So deriving it from that is a loophole process. Delta-8 is wonderful for people who want to deal with pain and inflammation or have similar THC effects, but it's not as potent. So you could think of it kind of like a weaker THC. That's great for people who might want to enjoy earlier on in the day. They might not need as potent as a product, or you're in a state that you can't get THC. You can then order something that's Delta-8. So if you see any products at your store, that's what Delta-8 is. We're also seeing THC-V, which is considered diet weed. It's kind of an appetite suppressant. So what's really cool about diet weed is it can be helpful for people with diabetes or high sugar, or when you get the munchies and you can't stop, and then it's every day of the munchies and you don't know what's happening with all the calories, because it happens. So engaging in a product like THC-V is great for looking for a product that won't engage in the munchies. We'll also talk about terpenes, and we'll talk about a terpene as well that's similar for if it's a high profile that has THC-V or the certain terpene. Those are appetite suppressants. CBD, we love CBD. It is a gift. I start my day with CBD. There are capsules, there are different formats besides just weed and flower. You can engage in topicals, bath bombs. There are sex creams besides edibles, tinctures, gummies, drinks.
Massage oil.
Right? They're massage oil, everything. So CBD is non-psychoactive. It is remarkable for the mental health state. If you have any type of PTSD, depression, anxiety, OCD, CBD is remarkable for that, in addition to inflammation and assisting your body for being in a better state of sleep. I eat CBD like they're Pez. They're remarkable. And it's something that you can engage in a non-psychoactive manner. So you're not going to green out. You're not going to overdose. You're not going to experience that. People that are in having a THC product, if they're newer or they're worried about anxiety, or for yourself, you can have products that have THC and CBD. CBD tapers off the psychoactivity, so it tones down THC. So if somebody is new and wants to say, hey, I love that bath bomb you gave your grandma, your auntie, your friend, there was no psychoactivity because it's a lotion, it's a bath bomb, even if there's THC, no psychoactivity, it doesn't get into your blood system. And they loved it. They felt great after the gym, or their psoriasis or arthritis, or their muscles felt great. And they might want to say, I'm ready for a little THC. Well, we know start slow, 2.5 to 5 milligrams, the minimum, but add a little CBD in there. So they have an experience that's a lot more smooth and calm, but also, again, gets rid of that potential anxiety or paranoia or uncomfortable feeling that we can have or experience, or people can have. We're seeing a lot of synthetic products out there, a lot of synthetic cannabinoids, synthetic terpenes, which I'm going to talk about too. HHC is hexahydrocannabinol. They're all a cannabinol something, so hexahydrocannabinol, and it's psychoactive, but it's formed from hemp plants in a synthetic fashion. Yes, it's great, we can get delta 8, etc., but the process is really important. We got CBG, CB goat, okay, not CB dank, CB goat. This is the mother of all cannabinoids. Okay, CBGA, the acidic version before it's changed to CBG, but that's another conversation. CBG, the acidic component CBG, is the mother of all cannabinoids. It's the first cannabinoid, so that it stems and it creates all the other cannabinoids that can be changed by chemical composition. And I also agree, Sessions, we do need to bring the pricing down with more full spectrum options. I think as we learn and get educated and people are less buying products, the demand will change, because we're saying we don't want those products anymore. There's not a market, and then we can have more of a cost change. I do agree, and I look forward to those days. For CBG, really remarkable, okay? Non-psychoactive. We see products that are THC, and we see products, I have asked on LinkedIn, I yell at all the brands on LinkedIn, I said we need some CBG with no THC. Not everybody wants to get fucked up at 9 a.m. I know a lot of us here do, but generally the others don't. So CBG is non-psychoactive. If you have digestive issues, my friends with Crohn's disease swear over the moon when it comes to CBG products. If you have focus issues, a lot of us were raised on a lot of colorful cereal, and we're all, you know, that's why I need colors in this room to fill my brain while I'm focusing on the computer, because we have focus issues, ADHD as well. So CBG can be helpful if you take it earlier in the day, maybe when you're working on a research project, maybe when you have some type of homework, maybe when you're writing an article or trying to do anything where you actually need to friggin' focus and you can't. We're also seeing more CBN, as in Nancy, I don't know. It's not a Nancy product, it's a great product, but CBN is a product we're starting to see more. We can order online in the States where places are recreational. We can see in a lot of places in Canada and the provinces and territories, these products are coming in. Now again, some with THC and some without. We heavily find everything is predominantly with THC, but again, I do a lot of research projects with brands and I say to them, hey, stop it. We need a separation and a combination because there's different needs, right? So CBN, again, another non-psychoactive one. There's CBG that changes to THC, it changes to CBD, further things happen, and that THC can change, and it can change into CBN. CBN usually comes from degradation of the plant. It's when it's left out in the sun, it's old, it's been oxidized. That does not mean if you leave your weed out and go smoke some old garbage, that dusty ass weed in the bottom of the bag, that you're gonna just get so much CBN. It doesn't really work like that. And it's very minute amount, so it's not, if you're feeling sleepy, it's just a weed, okay? But CBN, when we get it in a proper fashion, when it's put into a gummy, or we're seeing cultivars, strains that they're focusing on now, saying, hey, we're looking for other things to grow that aren't just THC focused, so we can see flower coming in. But it's wonderful for sleep, okay? Everybody has sleep issues. You don't need to have, holy shit, a serious life-threatening illness or injury to participate in marijuana, hemp, cannabis, any of it. The stresses of life are enough. All of us, we are not alone in having anxiety and having stress and having depression and hardship. So sometimes we need to take that fucking edge off, and cannabis can be super helpful for that. So when it comes to sleep, if you have a product with CBN, we're seeing in studies CBN is replacing over-the-counter and pharmaceutical sleep medications. So if anybody out there takes that little blue pill, that Ativan, that get to bed, all of that kind of garbage that may not serve a need, I've been on it. That's one of my 18. Cannabis got me off that, but also CBN is how I sleep. And I sleep wonderfully. That doesn't mean if you have breakthrough issues, pain, or PTSD and you wake up, you might want to have another hit or a vape pull to go back to bed. That's very helpful. But generally, if somebody's looking for sleep or, relaxation through the entire night, I would recommend a CBN product. If they're familiar with THC, then we're seeing little amounts. If it's a chocolate bar, you guys know, if it's 10 milligrams, you break it into 4, it's 2.5 each. Start slow. Once you start shit talking edibles is only when they kick it. CBC, the last one we'll talk about is me. I just get excited. Cannabichromine, CBC, okay? Non-psychoactive again, non-intoxicating without THC. If you're gonna introduce that, blah, blah, blah. Wonderful for reducing inflammation and pain, but also assisting with depression, brain function, and more. We are not going to talk about processes, brands, ingredients. That's a whole other, well, we're not going to go to bed. But the products that are out there, if it's a CBC product, the intent is to help with the mind and brain function. We've heard a lot of people that have had Alzheimer's that have had success because it reduces and attacks the plaque that builds up and causes memory issues and further deterioration, but also with neurological issues and brain function. Terpenes are so cool. Terpenes will allow and moderate how intense the cannabinoids can get in your system or not. So it's kind of like a fluid, like an oil, a grease, and it can help optimize getting those cannabinoids into your body. Plus, they also have their own bonus effects. So 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 is more than 1, and more goodies, the better. Like, just give me all the math. Cannabis flower, weed, bud. You smell that? What you smell, if it's good, is terpenes. Terpenes are the aroma. They are the flavor. They are what you are smelling and what you are tasting. And that is what differentiates different cannabis flowers. You'll smell one jar and it smells one way. Adding cannabinoids, amazing. So we learned about the cannabinoids, we've got the terpenes, and we are smelling these different jars. So one smells one way, another smells another way, and it's like a bouquet of flowers, right? You're not smelling one thing, you're smelling the combination. So it's that combination of those terpenes that together create an individual, create a flower that you can smell and that you can taste. The more terpenes, the better. But there's a difference, because a lot of brands that I also yell at, they like to sacrifice really our health at the expense of $1, because if they can use the synthetic cinnamon over a real cinnamon, some coffee stores use synthetic cinnamon, that's crazy. It's cheaper for them, right? So some companies use botanically derived terpenes. I personally don't like that. I personally don't like any product that's not full spectrum or broad spectrum. Broad spectrum means something's been removed, like THC, because you don't want to fail a drug test and you need CBD only with absolutely no THC. That's broad spectrum. But generally, full spectrum means THC, give me the CBD, if there's some CBG in there, some flavonoids, terpenes, anthocyanins, give me all the goodies, okay? But some companies say, we're gonna go get plant-derived sources, some synthetic, of these terpenes, and we're just gonna add them in. Or there are some vape companies, who I also yell at, who say this is a live product, live terpenes. It's just hot dog water distillate and they added in their fake ass terps. I don't like it. And it's also mixed marketing, because I never buy a product myself until I've researched it online, because they say flash, frozen, fresh, full spectrum, terpenes, live terpenes, but they're not true to what they say. But with time, people will learn and they'll educate, and those products won't get purchased. That's how we shop with our dollars, and that we can then highlight these companies that are really doing well. So terpenes, smelling our cannabis, we've got the aroma. They're like essential oils. They're just not an essential oil because there's a bunch more to that, but you can think of it like an essential oil. They combine, they create those aromas, they allow our body to modulate how much of that THC came into our body, or CBD, and they're just building blocks of a plant. They're not specific to cannabis. There's like 50,000 terpenes, like 50,000 terpenes in the world. They are absolutely everywhere. I'm not going to get into any specifics, but pinene's really cool. If you're in nature and people say to you, are you stressed out? Go for a walk, you'll feel better. They say that because you're really kind of smelling pinene, which is in all these coniferous trees and pine trees, and you smell that pinene and it has an effect. And that effect is anti-anxiety, is stress relief, relaxation. So you feel good because you're smelling nature and it's having an effect on you. So when you have terpenes in a cannabis plant that are naturally derived, there's that mixture of those remarkable effects, those other properties, and that's what we call the entourage effect, because we love everything together. But when you just have a botanical terpene from a chemical that's added in to make it smell like, wedding cake, or to smell like, the punch mints, it's just an illusion. Just like sativa is a Red Bull and an indica is in the couch, it's lazy marketing so that people don't actually get the knowledge. And if they don't get the knowledge, they don't get to consume and love and enjoy cannabis as much as we do. So we're not going to let big pharma and big alcohol and big tobacco suppress, because this is a movement and a moment. And I know when you guys feel cannabis, it's something you're not going back from. And that doesn't have to be just to get high or get stoned. It's more, it's therapy, it's therapeutic, whether medical or recreational. So I'm gonna wrap up with, I'm going to have to skip over what terpenes have a purpose, but I do lots of terpene educational classes that I would encourage you. I know a few of you have already been there, but I do want to just quickly wrap up and talk about one of two things. Boiling point of terpenes. When we have our vape pen, I'm a big fan of Vessel. For myself, I just got a my Tukey, which I've been trialing. And the reason I like that is because there's temperature control. If your temperature is too high, you're just burning the material and you're burning those terpenes, which means you're not getting those effects. Temperature controlled devices, yes, they may be $50 or $100. I love Vessel. This thing's a fucking workhorse. I have so many, I've smashed them. They protect the casing, because I cannot tell you how many carts I would have broken. Just they know we dropped these every 5 seconds. I fucking dropped it again. Or my dog's eating it because I left it on the couch and I can't have nice things, but she's cute, so I can't yell at her. And then I kiss her and she's like, oh, I should eat this more often. That's on me, not on you. But we need temperature control because it lowers the temperature of the standard pen rather than a disposable, a one set temperature, so that we can go and highlight and go, I'm going to try a little caryophyllene. I'm going to zoom in on myrcene. I'm going to try that limonene that everyone talks about, and you can have a more controlled experience. The other thing that I'll wrap up with before we end tonight is the conversation about, see, the weed finally kicked in. I was like, what was I going to talk about? That's why I take notes. Notes. See, if you smoke a lot of weed or have a brain injury, notes are great. Packaging, reading packaging. Another thing I yell at LPs, or I encourage them when we have our conversation, is put in terpenes on the packaging. You can go on a website and there should be a certificate of analysis, a COA, that explains the cannabinoids. But I want to know about those damn terpenes. Do the test, okay? Give me the wheel on your page that explains what's dominating, okay? Or if you're amazing, Partake that I'm smoking on, they have their terpenes listed. I encourage them to put 4 terpenes on there. Why? Because we often hear the top 6. We hear linalool, we hear limonene, we hear but there are thousands. I want to know about camphene. I want to know about ocimene. I want to know about guaiol. I want to know about terpinolene. I want to know about all these other cool ones. And although they may never be as high in amounts, the cannabinoids are never going to overpass THC. THC is the dominant, fastest of the race, most in the plant with CBD all the time. But it doesn't mean those minor cannabinoids, those minor terpenes are minor. They're fucking amazing. So if we can get those 4th or more terpenes, we can say, hey, this one's high in humulene, which is an anti-suppressant, an anti-appetite suppressant. Then I know if I get a Delta 8 or a THCV or a product that's high in humulene, I will expect less of the munchies. Or if it's high in myrcene, which is the most dominant terpene, and also the smell of cannabis, if it's the most dominant, it's generally the smell of cannabis. I don't care if it's an indica or a fucking sativa, you're going to bed. Why? Because it's got a lot of myrcene and it's sleepy time. So the combination, again, of knowing our body wants these products and knowing that we have cannabinoids and terpenes, how much do you need based on your tolerance and your dose, and how much terpenes to kind of figure out, that's the effect. That's when you know I can enjoy this project at this product at this time of day. I can smoke this, and I'm ready to work on the computer. I can take this before I go to the gym. I hit fat ass dabs before I lift weights, and then I do fat ass joints when I get home because my legs hurt. But then I feel better. But my day is productive. I am still a functioning citizen, because we either smoke weed and we're lazy, or we smoke weed and it's an enhancing performance drug, right? It's kind of both. Because sometimes we want to go to bed and sometimes we want to fucking be amazing. So when it comes to packaging, we see terpenes. The last thing I'm going to comment, how do we know what's a good terpene amount? Total terpene percentage is where you can go for a certificate of analysis, is where you can go for a review on a website, or to the packaging on a brand's product. If it's around 2% is a good amount. 2% is about average. Anything under 2%, about 1%, that's okay. It's okay. But I'm not going to pick it out. Anything above 2% is really considered brand to exceptional. We can see over 3, but people are knocking it out of the ballpark. And it's important that it's not infused with kief to increase the amounts once you read on the back end, or it's not botanically added terpenes to make it sound great so you think it's wonderful and it's really kind of shit. So when we see those products, look for around 2%, because something at 15% with a quality terpene profile is going to hit better than a 25 with a 1% terpene profile. And also for people having lower dose who may not have the tolerance for a higher product, they can have a lower dose product and a great experience. It's not always about the most potent product. There is a full spectrum of wonderful other products we can engage in throughout the day. And knowing about terpenes is really 50% of the battle. So at that point, I'm going to wrap it up. We didn't go over too crazy.